And boom, boom, boom. Make sure you get the intro right.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to the 101, brought to you by Whiteside Chrysler Dodge Jeep. I'm Michael Morris. Dr. Ryan Brown is not with us today. He is ill, but he's in our thoughts for at least 3 to 4 seconds. Sitting in his place, though, Rachel Ryder. Rachel, how are you?
I'm back. When was the last time I was on?
I want to say it's been over a year.
Well over a year.
Yeah.
Madison has been trying to get me to come on since January. He's texting me like, you better get back on the 101.
Well,
it's not the same. I'm like, I know.
It's not the same, but it's good that we have you because now we have somebody really good looking, and then you're on the show as well. I'd like to...
Who's good looking? Our guest?
Well, that as well.
Not Michael.
Listen, she's kind of new to us. I couldn't really just flat out pay her a compliment, but she is an attractive lady with an attractive story. Gretchen Davis, how are you?
I'm fine. Thank you for having me.
I'm thrilled. The reason I'm glad Rachel's here is I would like to explain. First of all, you are with Cbus Blessing Box, and we're going to get into that, but I want to explain the story of how we found each other, and Rachel could be the best person to tell that story.
Yes. I majority run our Instagram account, and
98% of the time is
99.9. But anyway, I came across Gretchen's account, or she came across mine. I can't remember. And anyway, she had sent me something, and she was like, "Hey, like, could you guys possibly just post this for us and help us like spread the word, yada yada." And it was just a post about spring break and how kids might not have like enough to eat or whatever because they're used to like eating at school and stuff. So I reposted that for her, and then I like did a little bit more research and invited her to be on the show because I really loved what she did.
I was trying to explain to Gretchen how the show gets booked, where you just send me a
I'm
text.
just like, I like you. You want to come on?
Yeah. So then I learned, like, this person's coming on. What do they do? No text back. They're just coming on. Okay, and I just write down, and so we do the research a couple days before.
Well, yeah, and then just like today, I just hand it to you when you get here. I'm like, so
right.
Here you go. Here are the notes.
Gretchen, did you think we would be a lot more prepared for you?
I wasn't sure what to expect.
You brought notes like you were studying, and so...
Well, I did a little Googling.
You're going to be good.
I hope so.
So, tell people what Cbus Blessing Box... Tell them what the mission behind this is.
So Cbus Blessing Boxes project is what it's called, and they're outdoor cabinets with non-perishable food for anybody in need. There's no questions asked. There's no signing up. There's no qualifying. If you're hungry, you just go and take what you need. And if you feel like you have more than you need and you want to donate, you just find a box, put it in, and that's it. I mean, it's very simple.
And Rachel, you did that, right?
Yeah, I did that literally as soon as I found the account, and after I did a little bit of research or whatever, there was like a map on your guys' Instagram, and there was one like 5 minutes from my house. So I was going to the store that day anyway, so I just like picked up some stuff, and I just dropped it in there.
So I want to ask, I have a lot of questions about this because what Rachel and I were in a meeting, was it last Monday? Mm-hmm. And it just happens to be that one of the guys from Gessel Insurance, the guys from BNI, I keep telling people, get in BNI, you're going to meet all kinds of cool people, especially the Grove City chapter. But Alex Gessel comes in and he says, I'm sorry I'm running late, but I was serving food to kids that don't have food during the day, and then you package it to give it to them at night. And I thought, this can't be a coincidence that we're meeting, you've come along in our life, and then he's telling this story, but I don't think everyday people know how hard it is really to take care of those kids. Because a lot of people think there's all these organizations, Kroger, people like that, are donating food.
They are. They absolutely are.
But there's still a need. So
absolutely. So
kind of fill us in on how this started.
So the project started here in Columbus. I have small children at home, and I wanted them to be involved. I wanted them to understand that not everybody has a bed to sleep in every night, food on the table, basically the basic stuff covered. And so I reached out to all the charities that I could kind of find, and nobody would let them participate because they are so young. And I understand that it's an insurance thing, and they have to cover their bases. I get that. And so I just decided that we would do our own thing. My sister runs the Low Country Blessing Boxes project in Charleston, South Carolina. She started about a year and a half before we did, and I thought, well, they're very successful there, and it's something that it's easy for people to do. The hardest part is building the box.
Right.
Once that's done and you have a location, you simply donate. That's all there is to it. And so my kids are able to do that. Sometimes they make little notes encouraging notes, and some of them are too young to write. They just make pictures, but just encouraging things, and then we leave those in the boxes. For Christmas time, I took the kids, we went to Aldi's, because, you know, Aldi's has the best canned food deals
You still
around.
have to bring your own bags to Aldi's?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I just was
You can buy them in the checkout line
I
if
love
you need
Aldi.
them. Oh, me too.
Yeah, I do. Well, whenever I've been to Rachel's house, there are a bunch of Aldi's bags, and I thought, are
Yeah,
you just...
I have a special hook in my garage for my Aldi's bags.
I see.
Absolutely.
You guys are getting up there.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, professional Aldi's. So I take the kids, and, you know, we would go up and down the aisles and say, you know, what do you think would be beneficial for somebody who, you know, doesn't have food? And so we let them pick, and I think we went to 4 blessing boxes. We have 4 kids, so we went to 4 boxes, and we let them put the stuff in. And then on the way home, we talked about how many people did you think that we helped today, and, you know, how does that make them feel, and, you know, things like that. So I just want the kids to be involved, to understand, you know, that we should help each other.
I think that's really important when they're young like that.
Yeah.
Like, I do that same, I mean, I don't have my own kids, but I do that when my niece and nephew are here in town.
Yeah.
Like, took them during Christmas, and, like, same type of thing, took them to Target and, like, let them go down the aisles and, like, fill up my cart, and then they donated all of it. So, I don't know. I think that's, I don't know. I just really liked what you did, so it was like...
Thank you.
Yeah, you do have quite a cheerleader, because she was like, there was no getting around.
I
Not that I wouldn't have wanted you on, but it was like, she demanded that you be here, so I'm
I knew I
thrilled that
liked
you're
her.
here. When you come up with this concept, is the original thought, because I think people are going to be impressed with how many of these things are out there, because it sounds like there's one, right?
No, we have 25.
Right, but it starts with the first one.
Yes.
How tell the concept of the first one, like how that came about.
So the first one, we had a little building day in my garage, and we actually bought some cabinets that I found, like, on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, you know, real cheap. Some of them were donated, some of them were free, just a couple of them. And my brothers are both engineers, and my husband, and so we had some family friends come over. It was February, and we were freezing.
Best time to work on things.
Yeah,
out
in the
cold.
garage. And so we built. I think we completed 3 of them that day, and then we found spots for them, and then it kind of went from there. And people kind of saw that and wanted to build their own. So Youth Build Columbus Community School, they contacted us, and they have a construction program. And so their construction students built a few of them. Somebody donated a whole kitchen's worth of cabinets. They were gutting a house, and they said, I saw them online, and I was like, oh, we'll take those. And so we took them straight over to Youth Build, and Youth Build, they did a fantastic job. I mean, if they were a little bigger, you could live in them. I mean, they are solid. So they did a fantastic job on those. They made 3 of them for us, and they even deliver. Like, they make them, they paint them, they're beautiful, and they delivered them. So that was fantastic.
It has to be a cool thing to have a concept, and then other people see it and they want to be part of it.
Yeah. When people started reaching out to me, I was like, oh, all right, that's cool. Like, you know, you never know, are people going to be receptive or not? But Columbus is a very giving city. People really, really want to help here, which is so nice.
You talked about, when we were in the green room, you talked about that Columbus as a community and the city is kind of taken care of. Not that they don't always need help, but then we talked about, like, areas like Pataskala, where you said you lived.
Oh yeah, we live near Pataskala, yeah.
Are those the areas that are most affected that are not getting this kind of outreach program where they have these items donated?
There's actually 3 blessing boxes in Pataskala run by a 12-year-old girl named Jasmine. So
wow.
they have their stuff covered. But basically what I was talking about was the big programs. Like, there's, I'm not sure honestly who runs them, if it's the schools or if it's a specific food pantry, but Columbus does a lot of free lunches for kids, mostly through the libraries or sometimes through the public schools. But the outlying areas, I don't know that they have that kind of thing.
I think they kind of get forgotten about.
Yeah, once you cross the county line, you know, I don't know that there's any services out there.
So your goal when you did this was it was more of a teachable moment for your kids and something they could be involved in, and now it's kind of picked up steam to where other people are seeing what you're doing. Are they seeing it through Facebook, Instagram? How are they getting educated about it?
So we have a Facebook page, Columbus Blessing Boxes. We have about 2,500 followers or so on the Facebook page.
Wow.
And we have an Instagram account, which is where Rachel found us. We only have about 300 followers.
Rachel can help you with that.
Yeah, because
she loves Instagram.
Yeah, I'm really not very well educated on Instagram.
I'm always like searching in so deep for like things in Columbus.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
maybe
She's like,
I want to
she's
find
like the
them.
person that's like on the dark web. Like she finds all the things no one else would know is there.
Yeah, I want to find the things like that no one knows about, and I want to like bring light to it.
Yeah,
so.
well, I would appreciate the help because I'm quite poor at Instagram. And we do have a Twitter account, but I just kind of link it to the Instagram and do that thing.
Twitter's his thing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm not great at it, but I think if you say something very controversial and at the end you tag and don't forget a charitable donation somewhere, at least pays attention to one part.
That's true.
So, where you're at now, do you feel like this is, obviously it's going to grow, hopefully after the show, but as you're doing this, what is the end goal here? I mean, is it to get one in every community? Is it to get that? What I see is the ones in the parking lots. Like if you go to the Giant Eagle, I feel like I'm just giving shout outs to grocery stores, but there are those huge dumpster size, dropping off clothes and all that.
Yeah.
But the difference is most of the stuff you're getting are perishable or
non-perishable.
Non-perishable.
Yeah, absolutely non-perishable.
But who's picking that up? That's the other thing. I mean, if you got 25 no. I just mean
big. Is that
yeah,
what you're talking about?
yeah. Well, I'm talking about when the blessing box is full.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, the one I went to was like so full, and I was so
Really?
happy.
Oh, good.
But I was like, I gotta like cram my stuff in there.
Yeah, some of them get used and very, very frequently, especially the ones in the Hilltop, Franklinton. They get emptied daily. Others, like we have one out in Carroll that doesn't get used a whole lot. It does get used, just not a whole lot. So.
But does somebody have to drive and pick it up? You're going to need your own like Amazon Prime trucks to fill and
no,
unload that
they
stuff.
stay where they are. They're stationary, and then if you want to donate, you just go to that and put your stuff in. So most of them are at churches, businesses.
The one I went to was at the Y, I believe, in Grove City.
Yeah, that one's new. Cub Scout Den did that one.
Off of Orders Road? Is that where that is? Never mind, you wouldn't know that road.
Yeah.
But if it's by the Y, that would be off Orders Road.
1000% don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm sorry.
Listen, I don't think she knows the address of the house she's been in over a year. So, the communities that are reaching out to you, are they just want to build their own, or are you getting like businesses that are also saying they want to be involved? Because businesses are always, if you think about how many employees are in a business, it's not like you're asking them to donate money because you're not taking money.
No, I don't.
This is all items.
It's just stuff, yeah. Non-perishable food, baby items,
Which
hygiene
is what I
items.
think makes it so easy. Like I was saying, when I went to the store, I was just like, oh, let me just grab like 2 of these today instead of whatever. You know what I mean?
Instead of one, you just get 2. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Just drop it off.
Yeah.
What was your background? We normally start with background, but I was so into the idea of these boxes because I'm looking at pictures of them right now. But your background before that, I mean, obviously you're raising kids, but did you always have kind of this philanthropic background to you, or you're like, you know what I'm going to do with my kids today? Build boxes.
No. Well, I told you my sister started this, and when we were in high school, we would do a summer mission trip. And I only got to go once. They started it my senior year. I only got to go once. But my sister and my 2 brothers would go every year. They were on the board of directors, so it's kind of like a family thing. We're into helping,
I just think it's a really cool concept that you're doing, but where do you see it going? Because let's leave your sister out. If she's listening on Facebook Live, I don't care. We're still leaving her out.
She's probably not, but that's okay.
She's probably out doing
She's
charity
probably at work. She's probably at work.
But when you're putting this thing together, what is it you want to see it become? I mean, is this one of the things that you want to kind of be on a board of directors and help get more of these out, or do you need corporate people to help out?
Honestly, I wasn't really sure what to expect.
And that's okay. There's no wrong answers here.
Oh, no.
The reason I ask that is a lot of times when we're talking to somebody that's running it, this technically is a small startup of business, but you don't know where it's going to go. And a lot of times everything is going great. Talk about your history, talk about where you're at now, and I go, where do you want to go? And it's dead silence. Like, I didn't think about that.
Well, we have 25 of them, which I feel like sounds like a lot, but Columbus is a huge city. It's really not that many. We have 25. I will tell you that I know of about 20 other ones that people just did. People just started them, at their church or at their school or wherever. So there's, a little less than 50 or so in the city. but the need is so great. Like, I truly don't think there could be too many of these.
Right.
Especially in, South Columbus, the West Side, those places, the need is unbelievable. It really, really is.
Rachel, what were some of the things that you dropped off? I remember you giving me the list of it, but that was when you first, you just told me about the box and said you went and did this, and meanwhile I was trying to write down, what is she talking about?
Oh gosh, what did I grab? Like I said, it was during the spring break one, so you guys had like a list on your Instagram of like things that
like little suggestions.
Like, yeah. So I want to say, like, I took like Pop-Tarts, I want to say like pudding cups or applesauce cups, like snacky kind of stuff like that, like granola bars. I don't remember now. 2 bags full of stuff.
I
but it
remember
cost me less than $10. That's the thing. So
that would be an interesting thing. I know that because of the way that this is put together, you wouldn't have an average of what people are spending. But I bet for $10, you could feed or take care of a lot of people for that.
Yeah. And what people don't realize or think about sometimes, and maybe I should do better about putting this online, is when you donate to a box, you kind of have to think about the people that are going to use it. So if you're donating to a box that has a large homeless population, you need things that you can just open the wrapper and put in your mouth. But like some of the boxes that are especially like South Columbus or the Far East Side, where people have homes, may not have the food to feed their kids, mac and cheese would be a great idea. Things that you can take home and cook, pasta and sauce, or there's these ready meals that you just kind of open and dump into the pan.
They called, MREs or something?
No, they have a more appealing name than that. I can't think of the name
Sorry,
of them.
I guess I'm thinking of 1960s if I was in the Army.
No.
I've seen what you're talking about. Yeah, I can't remember.
I think Uncle Ben's makes them, I think. But they're pretty cheap.
Shout out to Uncle Ben's.
Yeah.
We're shouting out everyone today.
Yeah,
That's what we do on the show. I mean, it is still a marketing show a little bit. In these communities, in the poorer communities, have they requested the box, or somebody's just put it together for them?
No one has requested. I mean, people have come to me, they've reached out to me like, this would be so helpful in my community, and you can put it in my front yard. Most people that reach out to me say, like, I can't build one, but if you give me one, I can make sure it stays full. And so that's where the people like Youth Build come in. We have scouts that make them, Girl Scouts, Boy Scouts, Cub Scouts. People want to be involved. Sometimes they're at churches. The churches pretty much make their own boxes, because churches have a big group of people usually that. There's
always somebody in the religion that can build things. Jesus, wasn't his dad a carpenter?
There you go.
I'm just saying, one person out of an entire church. Oh, Jim's got something.
I do have a question for Gretchen.
Okay.
Is it only food items, or do you put like clothing items in there? Because I know for homeless people, I've had homeless people tell me in the past, the number one thing they want is socks.
Yes, you're absolutely right. Socks.
I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, absolutely. They go through them like crazy.
Ted the Golden Voice Williams told me that, and some other homeless folks have told me socks.
Yeah.
We love socks.
We
Would that be something you could put in the blessing boxes?
We actually don't do clothing.
Okay.
It's mostly food, baby items, diapers, wipes, baby food.
Good idea.
No
good
babies
idea.
And hygiene, like toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant.
Right. So
sometimes laundry detergent, soap, things like that.
Okay, thanks.
Even pet food. People. We hear sometimes people will go without so their dog will eat. Like they love their animals like their children. So we ask sometimes for pet food, cat food, dog food, as long as it's non-perishable.
I'm glad Jim brought that up about the clothes, because I wasn't 100% sure.
Yeah.
Because I know there are organizations that's all they do is clothing.
Yes.
But this is immediate need, right? And food is the most immediate need.
Yes. I mean, when we had the polar vortex, people were messaging me and asking, I have extra coats and stuff. I have hand warmers, and I said...
Did you shun them?
I did not shun them. I was like, put them in. It's cold. People need them. But most of the time I say, thank you, find somebody else. Or I'll give them, I know these people could use your coats and whatnot and whatever. But most of the boxes aren't large enough to have food and clothing. And, food's kind of our deal, so...
Has that been a struggle because of the size of the boxes? Because it's not kind of uniform? Like, in some communities, like I'm thinking that Rachel and I have been out to... whether it's on the Far East Side or places where the neighborhoods are not great.
Yeah.
You're seeing, anytime you see a lot of bus traffic, you kind of go, there's not a lot of home ownership.
Yeah.
And it seems to be there are people just kind of hanging out on the side of the road, like whether unemployed or they're sick or whatever. It would seem to me in those neighborhoods they would need a mix of both, the clothing and the food, but the food is probably the most pressing need.
Yes, yeah. I know that we work with some groups, local outreach volunteers. They go out every Sunday, and I think more often than that. And they show up with clothing and food, and like hot meal kind of food. And they give out, everything that they've got. And then Fleur's Dream, they do homeless outreach, and they do an event in Columbus, a huge event, every other month in Columbus, right by Wayside Mission. And they give out more clothes than you've ever seen. I mean, it's crazy business how much clothing they give out.
You know what I would like you to do?
Okay.
Give the Instagram address, because I'm going to challenge somebody out there. If you're a remodeler,
Okay.
you've got to have scrap wood
Yeah.
or some things that they could build. Something like if you're just going to toss it down,
Yeah.
because if you are in the studio, you can hear my boy Scott O'Neill, his company Structure out there, is building a whole new studio out there. So you can't hear the saws going off. However, there's going to be extra pieces, right?
Yeah.
There might be remodelers who want to get interested in this and help you build the boxes.
Oh, that would be fantastic.
And they can put it in their communities, or they can put it in front of their building.
Yeah.
So how can they find you on Instagram?
So Instagram, we are Cbus Blessing Boxes, and then
What's your Facebook?
my Facebook is Columbus Blessing Boxes Project.
So if somebody out there would like to build these boxes, or even if you're at a church, whatever it might be, I think we need more boxes. I mean, that's fair to say, right?
Yes, absolutely.
I want to ask this question: who determines where these boxes go? Do you have any say in that, or is it more the community will say we're going to put this here? I'll tell you why I asked this. Because in a certain city where Rachel and I live, they are kind of monitoring where your grass is growing too high. They also will let you put boxes in certain areas. Okay.
I would put one in my front yard if they.
Well, that
my
was
neighbor would not like that.
Well, I think you should put it in her yard because she doesn't need to know what you're doing. But that's one of the things I'm wondering is if somebody really wants to do this, could they put it in their yard, or
Yes.
do they have to put it in a certain location?
So if you are a homeowner, a property owner, you do not have to ask permission. You can put anything you want in your yard. If you own your business, you own where your business is, you can put it there. There's no restrictions. If you have an HOA, you of course have to ask the HOA for permission. But if you, like my neighborhood, there's no HOA. We own the property. If I wanted to put one in my front yard, I could just build it, stick it in the front yard.
I'm going to put one in Rachel's front
You're
yard.
gonna put one in Rachel's
Yeah.
front yard?
I
That's
was
fantastic.
very okay with that.
Like the size of a grandfather clock, though.
That's fine.
Right in the front.
Some of them are really big. Some of ours are really big.
Well, I
Some are
mean,
small.
again, when I'm looking at
This one's
these,
pretty big.
the sizes of these
Yeah.
boxes on here, these are really cool.
Yeah.
What I like is that they are not all uniform either.
No, there's no
There's a little bit of
specifications.
personality to these
Oh,
things
yeah.
depending on who built them.
Yes. The one that the Cub Scouts built in Lithopolis is red, white, and blue with their little handprints on the windows. It's really
that's
cute.
cool.
Yeah. Somebody actually left us a note on the handprint, thank you, and then signed their name, which I thought was really sweet.
That's really awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
So again, this all started because your kids wanted to get involved.
Well,
No,
I wanted,
actually,
I
you
wanted them
wanted
to get
them.
involved, yeah.
Yeah.
But they're into it, they think it's cool.
And then when they go to school, do the kids there know what they're involved in and want to be a piece of this?
I'm not sure. We're kind of still working on that.
This thing could really take off, and
Yeah.
those kids could want to be small time entrepreneurs
There
and
you
get
go.
involved in this.
There you go, yeah. Maybe.
But then kids don't pay attention to reading and they give socks. Right? So we got a problem.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Tell you what, give the address for the Facebook and the Instagram again before we go to break, because I really want one person out there to hear what we're talking about and say they will help you at least build one box.
Okay, so Facebook, we are Columbus Blessing Boxes Project, and Instagram, we are Cbus Blessing Boxes.
And who answers that? So
It's all me.
so it's you. So when Rachel, she was talking right to the head honcho.
Yeah, right to me. Yeah, no staff, just me.
She did.
Okay, well, we're going to take a break, but we're going to come back with more with Gretchen and, unfortunately, Rachel. You're listening to the 101, brought to you by Whiteside Chrysler Dodge Jeep. We'll be right back.
Everyone's commenting.
Well,
People are commenting?
I'm a handsome lady. Is there somewhere specific you would like to go with this? Again, if we were getting into, I would like to look at what we're going to do in the future, or what your goals are.
Got about 28, 29, 30 more minutes, whatever you want.
Okay.
Are there any people you want to thank specifically for helping?
I kind of already did.
It's like a little on delay. Did you hear that?
No.
It
Oh,
was Jim. Madison says, you look very good in blue.
Well, you're not wrong.
So funny.
and I wonder if Madison's wearing his,
People, my friends are
what is
listening
it,
to this and they're
like
texting me. This
J.C.
is
Penney
funny.
boys small t-shirt.
Medium.
Okay.
Medium.
So,
This is my daughter's shirt.
We can maybe talk about who benefits from the Blessing Box, because I wrote it down. Let's see.
I never thought there was a lot of need in
Do you want to get
Whitehouse.
into the?
I don't know who lives out there. I mean, my
Why don't
great
I
uncle, when
say-
I was a kid, my great uncle had some. Oh, you do? When I was a kid, my great uncle had a mansion out there, like $2 or $3 million.
Really?
Yeah, I thought everybody in Lycopolis was rich, but
I just hit
hey,
the highlights on
I was
it.
about
Okay.
14 years old. We went to visit him.
People
He
have
had
made everywhere.
He had a
Really get
snowmobile.
into it.
And
Okay.
we were riding around in a snowmobile.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have more. Let me.
That was
let me
as a
get stuff.
14-year-old. That's wild. And then we watched this. Then we had dinner and then watched the Super Bowl.
Bing, bing, bing.
Yes,
It
but
was
a
on
good
Super Bowl
day.
Sunday. It was
we
great.
need one dummy to make a cabinet. One. Why are you pointing at her? Oh, out there. Thought you were pointing at her head.
I'm like, I made some.
Hello,
There's a picture of me with a nail gun.
I can try to make one.
Yeah. There's like no.
I would not be able to make one. I'd be the wrong
We
person.
should do that.
I have
Record
building
it.
Oh my
plans.
God, I would
building
love.
plans.
Carpenter Rachel.
You can't even imagine.
Carpenter
This is a
Rachel.
nail.
All right.
This is hammer. I just think
I'd be pretty good.
you'd be injured pretty quickly.
You know what? If I got the box done, who cares?
Yeah. Why is this one have blood on it? Don't worry, kid. Put
I
it
would
in your
put
yard.
cats
Don't
all over
worry,
it too.
You paint pictures of cats.
That is what we should post. You doing paintings of cats
Yeah.
and a chef's hat.
And I'll leave this pin for people to find.
That pen is getting chucked out the window.
Don't worry, I have 11 more.
Don't worry, I'm gonna burn your house down.
Okay, the cell service in here is terrible. I can't
Yeah,
get my
it's really
thing
bad.
to pull up. That's okay.
Now there's certain
The rest of that.
dead
That's all right,
spots here in the
we're
building.
gonna really get into
I
this.
know, but there's more of those. That's what I was trying to.
Do you want it on the Wi-Fi?
If you give it about 3 to 4 hours, that'll pop up.
Yeah, are you on the Wi-Fi?
No, I'm not. Oh,
Oh, doesn't work.
I think I can.
Oops, I'm doing it.
28 minutes.
We've got
There we
about
go.
28, 29, 30 minutes.
Do you need limericks? Anything you want to get out? We're gonna go
Do
through
I
these
ever?
questions. Nope.
All right.
This is the most America's heard you talk in a year.
Well, you're welcome, America.
Nope.
Nope.
Now they see what I gotta put up with.
She was on with me and Buzz.
That's right.
Oh,
you weren't
Two
even
of
here
us
for
were
that
on with
show.
Buzz.
I was
You,
probably in the
you were
hallway.
late.
That was just a couple of months ago, like 3 months ago. We're on with
That was the most random
Dr.
show. It
Buzz.
was me talking about bodybuilding and then Jim talking about
Not
hormones.
body.
Hormone replacement therapy, and then Buzz just saying, uh-huh.
My favorite show of Jim's is when we did the college football thing. He was on fire.
They do
Yeah.
another show called Middles Open, and they said, Jim, you are as passionate about college football as, say, Archie is about hockey. Yeah, so, well, college football playoffs. Come on the show and talk college football with us. I'm like, yeah, because that's my favorite thing,
Hormones
college
and college
football.
Oh, my husband too loves college football.
Since I was a kid, my dad took me to my first Ohio State game in 1971. They lost to Northwestern. The
And you're still a fan.
The
They
last
lost.
time Ohio State lost to Northwestern in the shoe, look it up, 1971.
Oh, I trust you.
She
Yeah.
takes a word for it.
Jim knows. All right, let's get
And not just the
rolling.
Buckeyes, I just love college football. But they're my alma mater.
Here we go.
Yeah. Come on, man. Don't call him during the show.
Ready?
Yep.
Welcome back to the 101, brought to you by Whiteside Chrysler Dodge Jeep. I'm Michael Morris. Still sitting in here, unfortunately, Rachel Ryder. Rachel,
Unfortunate.
I
That
meant
is
fortunately.
honestly rude.
fortunately, Ryan is sick today. His throaty,
What
hurty.
if Ryan never comes back and it's me forever now?
Do you mean never comes back to America? I think he's just sick. He just has a cold. Oh, you mean if I had to do this
I
with
mean,
you
on
every
the
week?
show. Yeah.
Oof. I think we'd be
We
doing
should take
something.
a vote.
Yeah, we would be running an infomercial right now on like dental cleaning or something. Still with us is Gretchen Davis, who has been nice enough to stick around through the break. Gretchen, you have a list of frequently asked questions that only you could really address. Wow. I'm looking, you have two
That's
lists.
a lot of questions.
It's the same list.
Oh, okay.
This one has more. That's all.
There's a lot of writing, but
There's a lot of writing. Yeah.
can we break them down one by one? Like,
Yeah.
what's the number one question that you get about the box?
The number one question I get is, can I have one? Can you give me one? But sometimes we do get donated items. Like the Columbus Dispatch donated, I think, 9 newspaper dispensers. So we scraped off their name because they asked us to, and we painted them up nice, and then they went out into the community. But I don't have any more. Like, we're not building them and giving them away.
I have a side question on that because so you had mentioned that someone had stolen a couple of these boxes.
Yes.
Why would you steal from a charity?
Well, I can't really answer that question, but we think that scrappers took them because they were metal, and they took them to the scrapyard and got a little bit of money. And
So they got $4 for stealing from children in need.
Yep, yeah.
Well, if they're listening today, let me know how much those are. I might steal them myself.
Okay.
The fact that people want a box, they can put it, as you said before the break, they can put it in their neighborhood in front of their business.
Yes.
Are businesses reaching out yet to kind of say, hey, we would like it? I don't understand why they wouldn't do it. Number one, it brings traffic to your front door.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And number two, you've got to feel good about it. It's not like you're asking for X amount of dollars has to be spent.
No, absolutely. No, not really. No, I don't have
I feel
very
like a lot of
many
people
businesses.
probably don't know yet, though. I mean,
Yeah.
which is another reason why I was like, you're coming on the show.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think that Columbus is, like I said, a very big city. We only have about 2,500 social media followers. A lot of people don't know about us yet, so maybe that's why. But we don't have any that I can think of off the top of my head that are at businesses, and if I am forgetting one, I'm sorry.
That's okay. But again, part of that was when we talked about Alex Gessel and those guys when we were talking to them. The food that's being put in this, is it just for that community, or can it be redistributed somewhere else?
We honestly, I don't know who uses the blessing boxes. Is it a local person? Does somebody drive from far away to get to them? We have no idea because we don't ask. We don't ask who's using them. We don't watch who's using them. You know, there's no cameras. There's no, you know, if you need to take everything that's in there, then you take everything that's in there. There's no stealing because it's free. We don't really know. It works on the whole principle of anonymity. The donations are anonymous, and whoever's using them, it's anonymous.
Right.
And that's, I think, why people like it, because you can donate anytime you want. If you want to donate, you know, after you work second shift and you get home at midnight and you want to donate on your way home, that's cool. Like, you just do that. And if you're hungry and you're struggling and, you know, you had some unexpected bills or something and you don't want to go into a food pantry, you don't want other people to know, and you want to go at nighttime when people can't see you, that's cool too. Like, I think that's why it's as successful as it has been.
I just am thinking about places in Grove City, like Rachel talked about the one that's at the Y.
Yes.
That's a great place because there's so many people coming in and out.
Yes.
But the downtown, I don't say downtown, well, the downtown area in Grove City is one piece, but where everybody's going up and down Stringtown Road, if there was a box there, you're passing 3 grocery stores and like 10 gas stations that all sell food. That would be where I'd want
That'd be
one.
great. Yeah, that'd be a great
Rachel,
spot.
talk to somebody in the city, get a box there.
I would do it.
She's on it.
Oh, I know you would.
I would love to do
I would
both
think
of
it
those
would be
for it.
hilarious for you to call the city and say you want to put a box there.
I'd be like, who are you?
Who are you? All right, well, that covers that part. So what's the second question that's most asked?
Let's see. The second most asked question would be, can I build my own? Which, of course, you absolutely can. I have building plans. You want them, find me on social media, and I will send them to you. They make a beautiful box.
See, I could build a box.
Yeah, Rachel
She has
said,
plans.
Rachel
Rachel
said
did
during
it.
the break that she was going to build her own box, and we would document that. And I just thought, if she's losing a finger over this, we
Carpenter
know
Rachel,
we know
Gotcha.
people. We know people that could build you the box.
Yeah, but like, that would be
No.
cool to build my own. You don't think?
Oh, I would watch that. That would be
You
one of
wouldn't
the
help
funniest. No, I would not.
All right, good.
I would want to. I watched you try to start a mower once, and that was comical. I can't imagine you building your own box.
I'll help you. We can do it together.
See, now I'm gonna
Girl
do
power.
it. Just
Female entrepreneurship
Here you
at its
go.
best.
yeah, just to spite him. That's
Yeah.
right, Jim.
Yeah.
So you have building plans for this, but could somebody build their own?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you don't have to use the building plans. There's no specifications
I mean, I
to
think
size,
it's
shape,
cool
color.
that you have that.
Yeah.
But I'm thinking of, remember the old telephone booths?
Oh, yeah.
Like if those are huge and
They're
no
huge,
one's
yeah.
using them,
And where are they?
they're just sitting in like a lot of them don't even have the phone in it anymore. The
yeah,
booths
they're
still
just
exist.
boxes. And they're waterproof.
Right.
That'd be perfect.
Yeah.
All right, let's find us.
We should do that. Start our own company that just makes old telephone booths into donation boxes. Are you writing this down?
With
Are
the
you
cat
writing
pen.
it with the cat pen?
Cat pen.
Yeah. I think that was another question that people are going to ask is, I think if they're thinking they have to build them to a certain size.
No.
A city, like Grove City, Gahanna, anybody, they could get together and make those any size they want.
Yes.
Because that would also make it last longer, right? You have a lot more donations, you wouldn't be running out.
It could. Yeah, it absolutely could. Or, somebody could take everything and clean them out. So
The scrappers.
yeah, the scrappers.
I do feel bad now that I think about like the Hilltop area of Franklinton because they are in such dire need of those things.
Yes.
I don't think there's enough boxes that could be down there.
No, I think there's 5 of them in the Hilltop right now, and they're emptied every day. Constantly.
And you're waiting on somebody to refill. So somebody, I wouldn't say it's just one person, but there's got to be an organization that knows there's need and is jumping on that.
Oh yeah, there's lots of organizations that have reached out to me like, hey, we filled this box and things like that. Like, it's supposed to be anonymous, but sometimes it's not, and that's fine. If you want to talk about it,
but those are great stories to share on
Yeah.
Facebook and Instagram,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I would want to post those testimonials because, again, I didn't even know that this existed. When Rachel brought it up, I thought she was dropping off clothes. I didn't know what she was doing until she inundated me with the details, and I'm like, I stopped reading after this line. But to know that's out there, I think there are more people who would want to contribute, whether it's schools, whether it's churches, because, again, I had no idea that outside of the school year that schools don't provide lunches year round.
Yeah, summer is coming and kids are going to be hungry.
Well, not just, their parents probably also, right?
Yeah, their parents are also, absolutely. Studies show parents will go without food to make sure that their kids are fed. People will go without food so their animals are fed,
Right. And you have 10 to 12 weeks of summer that you've got to figure it out if you're a parent.
Figure it out, yeah, absolutely. And even though they do have the free lunch programs and things like that, that's one meal.
Right.
I know my kids are hungry all the time. I'm sure everybody else's are too, or there's something wrong with my kids. I don't know. Could go either way.
My kid is always eating.
Yeah, they're always eating. They're always eating. So I get
Children
it.
are the worst. Let's just agree on that.
Yeah.
But again, I think that if we could, there are a couple of things that I see that you could do in the future. One is getting help with building these things where they could be donated. And
Yes,
again, that's why
fantastic.
I'm challenging somebody that's in the remodeling industry, a cabinet company. If they would build these things, you're going to get some street cred for this too, because you're going to be able to share what you did for the
Absolutely. And
community.
if you want to put your logo on there, have at it.
Yeah, but again, it's all to benefit the communities that we all live in,
Yes.
right? And to
Yes.
better other people's life.
Yeah.
You were going to say something.
Nope, that's okay. Go ahead.
Let's hear our next question.
Yeah.
From
What's number 3?
The FAQs.
Let's
I like
see.
that you went FAQ.
I like it. Okay. People ask, what are some other ways that I can help? So we say to please donate to the boxes that are already out there, like Rachel did. Spread the word about our project. Tell your friends. Share us on your social media. Columbus, again, it's a big city. A lot of people don't know about us. Let's see. And if you do go to a box, help us make sure that they're being maintained. If somebody leaves garbage or if there's dead bugs, clean them out. Make sure that they stay nice. And I don't know.
And
I kind of lost
also-
the train on that one. I'm
That's
sorry.
okay. I was also thinking, we talked about this before the break, no clothing, but no cash either.
No.
Putting money in the...
Yeah, that.
We didn't
It's
cover
probably
that.
not a
I
good
thought it was
idea.
a point. Yeah.
Yeah.
If there is cash, let me know which box you put it in.
Yeah, I'm gonna swing by.
Yeah.
I think we'd all would swing by.
But I think a lot of
absolutely.
people also are going to think, well, I want to help out. I'm not going to go to the grocery store, but I'll put the money in there.
Yeah.
It's not being... The upkeep is not being done by you. It is a community event.
We don't know who's putting stuff in there, who's taking the stuff out. I would definitely discourage cash donations, but very much encourage non-perishable food, baby items, diapers, hygiene items, toothpaste, toilet paper, laundry detergent, soap, shampoo, anything like that. A lot of people will collect their hotel size stuff, like the travel size stuff, and stick those in there because
That's a good idea.
if you're carrying around a backpack with most of your belongings, you don't want a giant bottle of shampoo in there,
Right.
but two little ones you can definitely find space for.
What are the things that they need the most, though? Are you seeing that it is food? I know it's anonymous, so it's not like you're taking an inventory.
Yeah, we don't know.
But I would think one of the things that I'd be curious about, and I don't know how you would structure this,
Okay.
is when you see people, especially not so much in Grove City, but in other areas, you see somebody has their entire life on their back.
Yeah.
Like Rachel, the lady that used to she would get off the bus and she would sit on that big cooler all day long in Grove City as you're going up and down Stringtown.
I'm sure I've
Yeah.
passed.
I'm sure her last name is Ryder. But this lady would every single day would get off the bus, sit on this cooler,
Yeah.
and then she would get on the bus probably 4 or 5 o'clock and leave again. Now, I'm pretty sure that she needed soaps and all these kind of things,
Yeah.
and also food, because I think she was just staying in that
hanging
area.
out, Yeah.
That's what I would be curious about. I know there's no statistics on it, but if there was a way in the future to look at this, because big companies are going to say, I want to be involved, and they're going to say, what do you need?
Okay.
It'd be one of those things where it's like, we need X amount of soap, deodorant, food, that kind of thing. Because right now, I don't know if you started this way where it was just going to be a food type of donation, but as it gets bigger and more people are paying attention to it, I think you're going to get big stores or big companies that are going to want to donate to this.
That would be fantastic. But you're right, I don't have, we don't take an inventory, we don't really know, but I do have Blessing Box, I call them hosts, people that host them in their yards and such, that look at them every day, and they know what goes quickly and what sits for a long time. Like, we have found some areas of town, nobody ever takes the diapers. It's very weird. I guess there's no babies in that part of town, I don't know.
Or older people.
Or if it's just older people, I don't know. Some of them, somebody donated a ton of little cans of Vienna sausage. Tons of them. I don't know why. But, we didn't say no because it's whatever. People eat them. And in some of the locations, they're gone really quickly. And in some of the other locations, they've called me and they're, where it's still sitting here. I'm like, well, okay.
Oh, yeah, what do you do if it's just sitting there for a while? If somebody leaves...
I mean, if it's a canned thing, like, it should be good for a while.
Yeah.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, if somebody's not taking them out of those boxes, say somebody dropped off a ton of baby food and it didn't move in that area, do you go get that and move it to another area?
Yeah.
Where there's more demand?
Yeah, that happens. The Blessing Box hosts talk to each other. I have more than I need. Do you have, are you in need? I have this.
It's a little swap shop.
It's a little, everybody kind of shares.
I like that.
Works out, yeah. So we have a little closed Facebook group for people who, like, are frequent donators or people who, I have a woman who, hi Gillian, she fixes all our broken boxes. So she's in there and, like, the hosts. So, like, somebody will say, like, hey, I got this huge donation of whatever it happens to be, and somebody else will pipe up and say, I don't have any of that, and I know that it would be a big, big seller, if you will, here, and so they kind of trade out. So,
that's cool.
Yeah.
When you've dealt with communities, do they have you kind of talked to them and said, here's the structure of how we do it, or is it kind of you're still trying to make inroads into? Because a lot of people say, well, there's one in Gahanna, but have you actually had to talk to the city of Gahanna or people in that leadership role?
No, not particularly Gahanna. I will tell you though, the one that we put in.
I just randomly said Gahanna.
Yeah, I don't think there is one.
It's not that super important, but Gahanna has a lot of people.
It does have a lot of people. I will tell you the one that we put in Lithopolis that my daughter's Cub Scout den was a part of. It's on church property, but where it is, it's across the alley from the church, which happens to be the historic district of town. And we had to go, and we took all the Cub Scouts, and we went to the village meeting, and we had to present it in front of them and ask permission to put it there. And they said yes, so it's
well, you took a bunch of kids.
Wondering that.
I mean, we took a bunch of kindergartners, and we had
and they were crying.
Yeah, we had our friend Dylan Winecoop, who is a Cub Scout. He presented for us. Or excuse me, he's a Boy Scout. He had.
You better clarify that.
I know there's a difference.
Big difference.
There is a difference.
That's a man that is a Boy Scout, not a Cub Scout.
There's a big difference. So our kids were too young, and so we needed a big kid, and so he stepped up for us and he presented, and of course they said yes. They're very nice, and so that's the only one that we've had to do like through the government ask for permission, but I think it was because it was the historic district.
Right.
So, but some little townships or the cities surrounding are really open to it. There's one in Whitehall. Grove City has one. Well, Grove City's at the Y. Groveport has one. The city put it together and everything. Other cities are less receptive. So I'm not sure.
I would think it would be hard to go to New Albany. Not that they're not charitable, but I think it would be who's going to let them put it on their property.
Yeah.
And plus, who's going to come and take it from? Yeah.
Who really needs it?
But it would be a cool thing to have, like in the center of town, where they've done all that new development, where it's for other communities. Obviously, it's not for the New Albany community, but they want to collect it to go somewhere else. I think there's two uses for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
In areas where the income is not that harsh.
Yeah. Oh.
They have things to donate, so they could they could help you out.
Yeah.
And then you could transport that from one to the other.
Take it somewhere, like to the hilltop or something. Or,
yeah. Well, I mean, everybody wants to help out. I think it's, when Rachel did all that for less than $10.
Mm-hmm.
That was amazing to think. Like, she listed it all out, and I
Yeah.
thought, you did all that for $10?
Yeah.
If everybody just took $10 a month
Yeah.
in
Right.
their community, you wouldn't be, no one would be hungry at that point.
Yeah.
Or they'd have a lot of mac and cheese and they wouldn't want to eat it, but at least they have a
At
choice.
least it's there. It's an option. If
Yeah.
you're hungry, you'll eat it.
Where do you see this going? Like, what's your end all? Because I know you started this kind of to teach your kids something, but do you kind of look down the road and go, oh, I'd really like to do this full time?
I don't know about the full-time thing. It's kind of something we do. I just do it from home. It's just me. I don't know that I could make a full-time career out of it.
Well, especially when there's no money changing.
Yeah, there's no
you can't
money.
really make any money if there's no money.
No, there's no money. What I would love to see would be, boxes in all the communities where there is a need. Obviously, we can't feed everybody, but we could, help get somebody from payday to payday. I would love to see more boxes. I would love to see, like you mentioned, businesses get involved. We have very little involvement from businesses currently. Churches are catching on, and so churches are starting to get involved, and just the population in general. I think it's easy for people to be a part of it. If you don't want to build a box or if you don't want to host one, that's fine. But it's easy to just make a donation. I always tell people you got to teach your kids young. You got to teach them young because we all know teenagers can't wait. Can't wait. Yeah.
Terrible things.
Yeah. So you can't wait till they're old. So teach them young. This is how we are kind to each other. This is how we help each other. This is something easy and cheap that we can do, and you can do it any time, any day. There's no signing up. There's no restrictions. There's none. Except for non-perishable. That's definitely a restriction. Don't put socks or fresh fruit in there, please, because it'll go bad.
I like that those two got lumped together.
Yeah.
Socks or fresh fruit.
Or fresh fruit, yeah. No lunch meat, please. Just canned goods.
Well,
Boxes.
I was thinking that there will be somebody who will make that donation, thinking, oh, people want meat.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
I would have done that. Here's an entire roast.
Yeah. Somebody did put a fresh turkey in.
See what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. It was really gross.
That had to last at least 3 to 5 minutes inside the box.
Yeah, it was not good. It was not good.
Because the box has glass to it.
Usually they're plexiglass, but still.
Still.
It gets hot
The
in there.
sun heating that thing
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
I'm just curious to know, as you look down the road, because I think this is such a cool idea.
Thank you.
But I think you're at the beginning stages. I think as more people learn about this, especially sharing on social media.
Mm-hmm. Well, because this just started in January of last year?
Yeah, January of 18. Mm-hmm.
So really not that long.
You could not have started at a better time.
Yeah.
When it's freezing cold.
I know, right?
But what was so I know your sister was doing this, but
Yes.
were you going through the holidays? A lot of people start to
Yeah.
look at their life differently around the holidays.
Yeah.
Like, we have too much and other people don't have anything.
Yeah.
And then you hit New Year's and you're like, well, I'm just going to diet because summertime's coming.
Yeah.
And they don't really think about, that holiday if we should be giving to other people. Is that where that came from?
Well.
Or did I just make up a really cool backstory?
That was a great backstory. I can just roll with that.
Yeah.
That would
I'll
be
write
fine.
it down so you can take it with
Yeah,
you.
thank you. I appreciate it. No, I had been looking, at like soup kitchens or, any kind of volunteer opportunity for months, like that would let my little ones. My littlest guy is 4. And they say, well, we have to have at least 15 to come because of the insurance. And like I said, I get it, but I couldn't find any place for them to donate, to be a part of things, to, like I couldn't take them to the food bank because they're not old enough, that kind of thing. And so I was kind of annoyed, honestly. Like, okay, fine, I'll just do it myself.
Yeah, you were kind of spunky. I didn't think you were going to let somebody tell you no.
Well, I can only push so far.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, how often do you guys put a new one out then? Because you have 25.
There's 25 of them
That's
right
been
now.
what?
25. So 25 in basically 20 months, maybe?
Yeah. And
That's a lot.
honestly, it depends. The dispatch gave us 9 newspaper dispensers, so that went pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we go months without a new one, especially in the
Mm-hmm.
wintertime because nobody
Yeah,
wants to be
sure.
out building in the cold. But one week, it was a few weeks ago, we had 3 new ones in 1 week.
Oh, wow.
It was crazy. It was a crazy week. And then we go for a while with none, and then it just I don't really have a
It just depends.
yeah. It just really truly depends.
But that's got to be cool because it's. I mean, you're going to have these ups and downs where all of a sudden something really cool is happening and nothing for a couple weeks.
Yeah, that absolutely happens. So, it's fun to me. I think the most fun is when somebody contacts me and be like, "Hey, we built a box. We're going to install it next week." I'm like, "Wow, I didn't even know. Like, that's fantastic." So when that happens, we have stickers. They look like bumper stickers, and they say, "Take what you need, leave what you can." They have our little logo on them, and so I send those to the new blessing boxes. And then we also have a metal disclaimer plaque. It's just a little 3x5, and it's basically, my sister's an attorney, and it was her idea, so we just went with it. It says, items are donated in good faith, and take at your own risk is basically what it says.
It says take at your own risk?
No, I mean, no, it doesn't actually say that, but that's the
put
general.
Put your hand in here, maybe.
No, it means items were donated because we want to help you. Like if you don't like this, or if you happen to be allergic to it and we didn't know, or whatever. It's just,
peanut allergies.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if you'll ever get one of those things, like where they'll say, well, because of allergic reactions, you can't have this and this and this and that. Better not say it on the radio, so let's ignore what I just said. Okay. But it seems like there's so many restrictions on everything, like especially at schools. Whenever it's a kid's birthday, we get the email. Yeah. You can't have these items and cupcakes or cookies or whatever.
It's like, you just take air.
Yeah, so I just ignore that, and I go and I'm like, give me the peanut butter thing, and if the kid goes, he goes. Well, that's my kid's birthday. I mean, I'm not going to ignore that. Come on. But no, that's another thing I wasn't thinking about. I guess the parents would know, or whoever's taking from there better know what their allergies are.
Yeah. I mean, we always ask for things in the original packaging. So, you can't make cookies and stick them in there like in a Ziploc, because nobody knows what you put in them or where they came from, or, did you wash your hands, like gross stuff like that. So original packaging is where it's at, for sure.
Rachel, what was the list of, I know we kind of went over it, but you had a list of things that you could put in the box when you first went, or did you just kind of guess?
Yeah, well, no, there was a list that she had on her Instagram. I don't know how often you put those out, but it was kind of like things that she'd already said. Like I said, I put Pop-Tarts in there, granola bars. I did put peanut butter in there.
You did?
Yes.
Great.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
But then you brought up, things that, things that people can just open on the spot and eat. Well, what if you donated, plastic forks and plastic spoons as well?
Yeah, sometimes people do that.
Yeah.
I
should have done that when I put the pudding and applesauce
in there. I hope that you feel bad that you didn't think
about
those people were using their finger to eat the applesauce.
Hey, if you're hungry, you'll do whatever it takes.
I don't remember what else was on the list. Bottled water.
But the list
is
on
dry cereal.
Instagram, right?
Yeah, it's on Instagram. It's on your Facebook too, right?
Yeah.
Chips, crackers, mac and cheese, Capri Sun, juice, SpaghettiOs.
Just say juice. Why are you saying Capri Sun? You're giving free advertising at Capri Sun.
Sorry.
I'm just
Capri
kidding. You can say Capri. There is, I don't know another company. Yeah. It's an extensive list, and again, so how can someone find out A, the list, and B, the locations of the boxes?
On both of all our social media, under the About, there is a link to a Google map, and it has pin drops. The black pin drops are our 25 blessing boxes, and the purple ones are other blessing boxes or little free pantries or whatever they call themselves all around the city. So it's a Google map, and it's right there. And then the pinned post on Facebook is a list of all of them, and it kind of says behind the church, with as many details as I could give.
Behind the third bush, take a left.
Yeah. Don't.
I was going to ask that question because I think a lot of people might be interested in. Are on there.
Pin drops are on there. Yes, absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And I just put it into my map.
Yeah.
Oof! Don't make that noise on the radio.
You're welcome.
Well, I want to thank you for coming. Number
Thank you
one.
for having me.
But I also want to say, again, if there's somebody who can make a cabinet, and they can reach out to you. Right?
Yeah.
I'm saying cabinet. I'm thinking bigger.
You're thinking
it's a
very
box.
Big. Yeah. Box.
I want a coffee. I'm just saying that.
As long as it can be outside, I don't care what size it is.
As long as you can, at your own risk, put your hand in there. And
yeah,
get
there
a
you
fruit
go.
cup.
There you go.
Again, I appreciate you coming on. The other thing I wanted to ask you before we go is, this will be there no matter what. 24 hours a day, people can go.
Yes.
And it will be stocked, hopefully.
Well, hopefully. There are two of them that are not accessible 24 hours a day. One is inside Star House. So you have to be part of Star House. They're part of Ohio State. They serve homeless youth, and they're very restrictive over who they help, age-wise, because they aim for the teenagers, early 20s. I'm not sure the exact ages. And then the one at the mobile home park on South High Street, it's inside the manager's office, so it's only accessible during business hours. But all the other ones are outside.
23 out of 25 are accessible.
23 out of 25 are accessible 24/7.
And we're still looking for more, right?
Always
There's never enough.
No, there truly could not be enough. I think if they were even like a block away from each other, it wouldn't even be too many.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Rachel, how do you feel? You booked a guest, forced me to. Do you feel like this went well?
Yeah, well, you're welcome for me forcing this.
Oh,
I
I wasn't thinking you. I would like to thank Gretchen for being here.
Yeah, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for finding me. I appreciate it so much.
Last time before we get out, just tell them again, Facebook and Instagram, how can they get a hold of you?
Facebook, we are Cbus Blessing Boxes Project, and Instagram, we are Cbus Blessing Boxes.
All right, that's going to be it for this week. You've been listening to 101, brought to you by Whiteside Chrysler Dodge Jeep. Nailed it 3 times this week, I told you, Rachel. And that's going to be it this weekend. We'll see you next weekend.
How'd I do? Was it okay? Yeah, it's good. Easy enough.